Nairobi. And it's from that story by Mercy Kandia that we now introduce and welcome our guest, Lands Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi. Thank you for taking time to come for this quickfire interview. This has happened again. It's happened again. We've seen another building go down. And you know, Huruma it's almost like the symptom of a deeper rot because we have Kayole and other estates. So why do we wait for these tragedies to happen?
I don't think that we wait actually.
It looks like we do.
Because, no, since, you remember there was another Huruma incident, that was somewhere around January last year. And because of that, we formed a unit called Inspectorate Unit. And the whole purpose of Inspectorate Unit really is to go out there and audit all the buildings. To date, we have audited 1,206 buildings. Out of those, 226 have been condemned. Because they are not unsuitable.
When you say condemned, are they bulldozed and brought down or kind of left there?
No, so far, 4 of them have come down on their own. Yes. 2 others, we are the ones who have done it. And our intention is to make sure that those that are condemned, together with the county government of Nairobi, those houses are brought down. In case they are not brought down, what have we done? We have decided that we'll do it ourselves. Yes. At the government's cost, and they pay. They meet the cost.
So I think the question people have is, this particular building, for instance, the 5-story building that just collapsed, we understand, our reports indicate it was already marked as a building that was unsuitable to be inhabited. And it's almost like we waited, and that's why I say this, we waited for it to come down. How do we nip it in the bud so that for all those other, I think you've mentioned 1,000 and hundreds of other buildings that are likely to come down, we don't wait until tragedy hits?
You're very right. Absolutely right. That's why we're saying coming Tuesday, we are going to form a group actually. We are going to have a center, more or less like a response center, purely to address those issues. To make sure that all those buildings which have been condemned, the ones I'm talking about, will take action. Yesterday, because your concern is as good as mine. And people must realize something must be done. Then we must ask ourselves, there are 3 categories of people who are involved in a construction industry. The first one is a contractor. So we will go for this contractor. In this particular case, and in other cases where the houses have been condemned.
As much as you say that, this is the same rhetoric we hear all the time. Every time we invite authorities such as yourselves into studio during such a time, it's the same rhetoric. We're going to get the engineers. We're going to. In fact, I think the Interior Security Cabinet Secretary has ordered for the arrest of the owner of the building, directed police to arrest the architect and engineer, but we see them maybe going to court. There's no conviction. They walk away scot-free. What will be different this time round?
Different because the circumstances are different.
How are they different?
They are different because I'm a new minister in the first place. Gaizeri is also a new minister. The whole purpose of the government changing.
So you'll take a tougher stand.
Of course, I'll take a tougher stand. That's the point. And the fact that things have never happened in the past does not mean they will never happen again. It's not business unusual. Remember, this government, our principle is business unusual. So you see that being applied. And trust us to do that.
So, as we said, it's a quick fire. The final question, remind us again, steps going forward. You mentioned on Tuesday there's going to be a conference or briefing. Take us through what to expect in the next few days.
First and foremost, remember we are saying that actually there are some people there. There are some people, that building across, there are some people who are not evacuated. And we started that 2 hours ago, and we are going to do that because they were actually more or less malude. That's number 1. And secondly, as I've said again, it's very, very important. We are going to have a task force, a response team from Tuesday, so that we can address all these buildings that have,
that are compromised.
Yes, correct. We are going to do that. And the other thing which to me is very important is what you had the president say. We will go for the owner of that building.
We're going to hold you to that.
Number 1. Number 2, then the other person responsible is the consultant. We have an engineer, we have a quantity surveyor, we have an architect. And there is a professional body responsible for that. Again, we are saying if they are found culpable, they must be registered.
Okay.
And that will be done. With regard to the contractor again, if the contractor is found to be a fault, which he was anyway, he can also be struck off the register.
All right, we have to end it there. We will hold you to it. You say you're the new minister and you're going to take charge, so we're going to hold you to it. But we thank you for coming to answer those crucial questions. Thank you so much, Bwana CS. Of course, like we said, we are going to be holding him accountable for those details. Let's now move on to other details we're following for you, where President Uhuru Kenyatta today visited the scene of the tragedy in Huruma as questions linger on why authorities failed to bring down the building months after its condition was questioned. A visibly agitated President Kenyatta did not address the residents of Huruma Estate and could be seen receiving briefings from the Inspector General of Police, Joseph Boynet, and officials of the Disaster Response Unit and the Kenya Red Cross. And as Francis Kashuri reports, we could be staring at an even greater tragedy, with statistics indicating that up to 70% of buildings in the city do not meet set standards, leaving the lives of those who dwell in them at risk.